Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with a tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hater. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, it a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up, I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you, I'm a coach now. Commentating do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Made little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Showtime! What's up, good Veepo? Let me know that you can hear me by typing in the chat. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, or jam-packed, because we have a jam-packed topic agenda for this evening. I don't know why I feel like I sound funny. I don't know if the lighting, I don't know if the lighting is right or what. I forgot to log on my monitor so I could really see what's happening. But anyway, yeah, we gonna make it. Thank you, Trikeisha and Carolyn and Precious and Saint and Nicole and Marianne and his MJ and Marja and Marlena, Deshawn, Shaquina. I know I just pronounced that wrong, but Valerie, I'm reading quick. Z-Braze. But thank you, everyone, and everyone else who let me know that you can hear me in the chat. Yes, I feel a little bit more prepared, except for I forgot to set my monitor up, so that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna take a commercial break during one of these videos I'm gonna play for y'all this evening. I've been getting messages. I get messages all the time, but specifically, I've gotten a couple messages. I wanted to come to the larger audience and ask. Thank you to the 96% of you who have liked this live stream already. Please remember to hit that like button on your way in. It does a lot to help this channel grow, to help me. And again, it's free, so it's very greatly appreciated that your admission fee is just hitting the like button. That's all. Just hit the like button. But I get a lot of messages, various things. People giving ideas, people giving topics, and I appreciate that. We got a couple big stories coming up that we're going to do live streams about on Reality Chronicles. We're going to do some stories on some newer to our audience, potential scammers, and some other big stories and some viral stories, etc. I decided that we're just going to start going live with a lot of this versus me trying to do all these pre-recorded, highly edited videos. I love doing them. The problem is it takes so long. And I'm only one man. I'm a one-man show. So it then makes it take me a long time to get content out. And we can't be doing that. YouTube wants a lot of stuff out here. Precious usually. It could be. Also, I do understand, Precious, some people are like driving, or they're doing, they might be doing chores, or they sneaking and listening at work, et cetera, et cetera. So I do understand that getting 100% thumbs up or likes is very rare, almost impossible, and I'm okay with that. I understand that. So for those of you who your hands are occupied, I get that. When your hands are occupied, come to the video later, et cetera, just like it. That's all. But one of the questions I recently got was someone was asking me to still cover. This was in the VIP text community. I think it came today or yesterday. I'm sorry, I forgot to put the person's name down, but thank you for your question. But they want me to still cover an older story. It's with Babyface and Anita Baker. And for me, if I can't cover a trending story within the first 2 to 3 days, I tend to not cover it because of how things work on the internet and YouTube and all of that. And so I even though we were going to do it last week, and then something happened. I forgot what happened. Something happened and it made me have to scrap that. Oh, I think was it John Amos? I don't forgot what happened. Something happened and it made me scrap the whole live stream, and that was going to be one of the topics. So because now we're in this week and nobody's talking about it, I was like, okay, well, missed that window, and so I wasn't going to cover it anymore. But because of that message, I was like, well, let me just ask, because that's my assumption that you all don't want to hear about trending topics after nobody else is really talking about it. But there are some people who want to hear my perspective. It doesn't matter how old it is. And I greatly appreciate that you want to listen to me. I appreciate that. So anyway, I wanted to just take the pulse of our audience for that. And just a quick ending this poll now. We got 67%. So that's still the majority that would still want to hear it. 66% it jumped. I see Paula C is saying only if new developments in an old story. So I think people's here we go. But yeah, people feel differently about it, but I'm always just gonna, for the most part, go with the majority as long as I want to do it. I'll go with the majority. And this is something I'm okay with doing, especially when I've already done the research and all of that. So it's other stories, not just that, but I just wanted to get a feel for it. And if it's 60%, it's, you know, you guys are supporting me. I'm okay with that. And with me trying to do more lives and less pre-recorded for now until I can build the in-house team and have somebody to help me edit and all those other good things and research. Until we get to that place, I got to back off of the pre-recorded videos because they just take a long time, although I love them. The other thing is I've gotten questions before about the countdown. And I mentioned this before in a live stream a while back, and probably more than once, I'm pretty sure. The reason for the 5-minute countdown, it's a multitude of reasons, but in short, it is my way of being able to tighten up the last little bits before we go live. This is a full-on production happening behind the scenes. I know I make it look like I'm just sitting here in my office and I'm just chilling and I'm just randomly pull stuff off the internet. But all of that requires research. It's basically like me writing a research paper for each topic we talk about. So not only am I doing the research, then doing the scripting to give you just the key points, but then I got to pull in the images. There's design work that has to be done because I have to make them fit into this StreamYard program. All those, like when you see an image popping up on the screen like this, that don't just happen. I don't just screenshot that on my phone and push a button and it pops up like that. No, there's like editing work that has to go into that. So literally, I've been working on today's live since 7:30 this morning. I took a break for lunch or dinner, really, and I've been working on this stuff ever since. So the countdown is meant to help me know that I only got 5 minutes to get those last little pieces. And it's just like when you go to a concert, a show, they have opening acts and all of that. That's so the artists can like have their last few minutes to get everything together. I don't have an opening act. the countdown is our opening act. I'm only one man. Thank you. I'm only one man. And also I did a poll on this a while back, a couple months ago, and the majority were okay. It was like 80% or more were okay with the countdown. And they talked about how the people was saying it gives them time to get their snacks. They know I'm about to go live. Thank you. Nicole Driver saying I went and grabbed my snackety snacks while it was counting down. Right. So it's not even just for me, it's for all of us. And you guys get to, greet each other and all of that in that 5-minute period. So that by the time we get into it, we just into the topics. So I'm doing a countdown. I'm gonna continue to do them, but that's also why now when you watch it back, you watch the playback, you'll notice that I timestamped the entire live stream now. So you can skip over. It's 5 minutes. You see it counting down. Fast forward until it stops and then start watching. If it's something that you're not interested in, especially when you watch it late. It also syncs us all up too, because when those notifications come out, right, some people come into the live late. So when the countdown is happening, those live notifications are going out to people from my text community, from social media, et cetera, and they don't go out immediately. They take, sometimes a minute or two. Right, Precious and mute your sound. So they take time to go out, and so that 5 minute allows everyone, for the most part, to get in the beginning. Because if you got people joining in 2-3 minutes late, they're watching the live later, and so people will be making comments like, "You're muted. I can't hear you," and it'll be things we cleared up 5 minutes ago. So we don't have a lot of that here because of the 5-minute countdown. It's a lot of other stuff, but that's just a short of it. Someone in our text community sent me that message, but I had gotten it before, and I was like, it's worth repeating because other people may have that question. It's too much to type all of that I just said back. So anyway, getting to tonight's live stream and this whole opening monologue and all that, I do a timestamp. And so if you're watching the replay, you just skip all this if you're not interested. So tonight, our topic lineups are, we have it's not a submarine. I've been doing all this reading and got the name of submersible. The submersible vessel that is lost at sea that was going on an exploration to see the Titanic in person. They're lost. So we're going to go over that story. We got Saucy Santana, who is accused. Be nice, Precious. Be nice. It's okay. It's okay. Saucy Santana, who's accused of scamming. So we have that story. Monique and Chris Samuels have finally called it quits. I shouldn't say finally, but they have called it quits. And we'll get into it. But this was brewing. Some people saw this coming, and here it is. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and the backstory. DaBrat and Lisa Raye looks like they're back together again. They've made up again. I'm very happy for that. Sisters together again, bonding around her pregnancy, etc. And then we have an update on R. Kelly as well. R. Kelly has some things that he wants us to know about what's being done to him and how he feels mistreated. And then Tamika Scott and Latasha. I'm going to just say Tamika Scott. We don't know. I don't want to drag Latasha's name into it, but it looks a little sus to me. But we will talk about it. Y'all let me know once I tell y'all the story, what it looked like to y'all. And then lastly, we have an update, because I forgot who just commented that they only want to hear updates on old story. Only want to hear old stories when there are updates on them, the trending stories. And we have one, John Amos. And I thank you for, I need to start remember the screenshots people's messages so I can know who to thank. But someone sent me this in our, if I'm not mistaken, it was the text community that someone sent me this particular update because I hadn't noticed it. So anyway, let's get right into it. We have the story of the submersible vessel, the submersible, which was exploring a wreckage of the Titanic in the Atlantic Ocean. We now know that, unfortunately, it has gone missing. The vessel was operated by the oceangate expeditions, and it has lost communications with the mothership about 45 minutes after it departed, leading to suspicions that it may be stuck in the wreckage of the iconic Titanic. They said the U.S. Coast Guard initiated a search operation, but the challenging conditions of the remote location and debris in the area make the search very difficult. They said the expedition has a significant purpose to document the deterioration of the Titanic, which has been slowly succumbing to metal-eating bacteria since its discovery in 1985. And when did it go down? Like 1902 or something like that? And it says the missing tourist submersible named the Titan was an essential means for visitors to witness the haunting remains of the Titanic. And that's a picture of a mock diagram of the submersible. I have some other stuff we're going to look at. And then it says the U.S. Coast Guard has described the search as challenging due to the remote location of the submersible, which is approximately 900 miles east of Cape Cod. And the Titan lost contact with the research vessel during a dive on Sunday morning. And it is vital to note that the Titanic sank in 1912 and lies an astonishing 3,800 meters underwater. As each day passes, concerns for the safety and well-being of those on board the missing submarine grow. The crew had approximately 4 days worth of oxygen left, making time of the essence in rescue efforts. Multiple entities, including governmental agencies, natives, and deep sea firms, are collaborating in the search of the vessel. And this is like the search area. Well, this is the area that they are assuming that it's in, which is near the Titanic wreck. And they have done a search of the area, and you see here the mock-up with the blue and yellow zigzagging lines. They're showing the search area and where they've been trying to locate the vessel. And I'm going to play this video for you. I didn't mark it. I should have marked this video. We're going to pull in a video real quick for y'all. Give a little background on it for those who aren't as... Oh, and then I got a little poll I'm going to throw in here for y'all. Thank you, Mr. 6'8" for the super chat. How's it going? Look at the computer taking its time. I will put this poll in at the same time, but then it might crash on me. Oh, wrong one. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Just the right one. Here it is.
Search intensifying this morning to find the private submersible with 5 people on board. Coast Guard officials looking by air and sea for the Titan, designed for underwater tourism. Oceangate Expeditions, which operates the exclusive trips, started its Titanic voyages in 2021. Colin Taylor went on one last summer with his son.
We spent 4 or 5 hours at the wreck itself.
Oceangate uses the Starlink satellite to maintain an internet connection, and the Underwater Titan team relies on text messages for guidance.
And the text messaging is incredibly slow, so you're using a shorthand version of words to communicate with the ship on the surface.
The Oceangate CEO explaining some more of the ship's mechanics in a CBS interview last year.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on!
It seems like this submersible has some elements of MacGyver-y jerry-riggedness. I mean, you're putting construction pipes as ballast.
I don't know if I'd use that description of it, but there's certain things that you want to be buttoned down. So the pressure vessel is not MacGyver at all, because that's where we work with Boeing and NASA and the University of Washington. Everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can go, you're still going to be safe.
The submersible, which holds 5 people, is just over 22 feet long, just over 9 feet wide, and 8.3 feet high. The Titanic tourism industry has boomed since the iconic movie. And Oceangate's undersea exploration is one of the most exclusive experiences, coming with a price tag of $250,000 for previous trips.
We are taking scans.
The CEO telling NBC News in August, Oceangate has made some discoveries of its own with its high-resolution cameras.
On the port side forward anchor, which has been photographed many times, we were able to pick up the manufacturer's name. The Titanic experts were super excited.
But this morning, in those waters where the Titanic once sank, it's now a race against time.
So that's I just did the poll for y'all. It's when I saw that they're using a game controller, I'm like, how much could go wrong? Now, as I was doing research for y'all, I did see that it is also able to be controlled manually. However, that remote control is primarily the way that it's controlled, and it just seems very rinky-dink. For somebody's paying $250,000 per person for an excursion as such as that, and going so deep down into the ocean, which in and of itself is extremely dangerous. There was on CNN, they actually did a little diagram showing how deep that it is, so you could like kind of compare it. So I'm gonna play this for you. Video file.
Researchers tried to find the missing submersible that may be nearly 13,000 feet below the surface. We want to give you some perspective on how deep underwater this vessel may be. Now, consider this. The Statue of Liberty is 305 feet tall. The Eiffel Tower, just under 1,000 feet tall. The world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, is more than 2,700 feet tall. The Grand Canyon rises up to 6,000 feet tall. If you double the height of the Grand Canyon and add a little more, that's how deep underwater this missing sub may be.
Craziness. So it's like no wonder that they're having such a hard time trying to find them. And then today, you know, the more research I was doing, the more I started thinking about the panic of being trapped like that, because it's literally like they're just trapped in a tin can under the sea, and there are no options for them if they're obviously not saved at this point. The poll that I did with you guys, would you... Okay, why it ain't popping back up on my side? Whoops. Okay. Uh-oh, there's a little delay on YouTube. It says, would you have gotten on the submarine, a submersible, after seeing the video of how it works? 95% of you said no. I don't know why these numbers be off like that percentage, but 3% said yes. I'm interested in the, again, always the outliers, the people who are saying, yes, you, I guess, still would have gotten on it. What's your reasoning that none of that would have deterred you? Just not judging, just interested. Renee S is saying being controlled with a PlayStation controller ain't no way. Right. But when I heard that original, I was like, the batteries could have went bad. The RF radio frequency could, I don't know, be off or something and not work. The Bluetooth or whatever, probably Bluetooth nowadays. Bluetooth probably, you know, could be off, but they explained that it also could be operated manually. Because I'm like, how are they getting signals that deep into the ocean? But they said that they have a special satellite that they're using specifically for that voyage that I guess is very high powered and able to communicate. So on the ship, there are 5, 4 men and a boy. There's 4 grown men and 1 teenager. He's 19 years old. And the founder, Stockton Rush, is the founder and chief executive of oceangate Expeditions, the company that we're talking about, that operates the missing submersible. And he is also one of the 5 people missing in the Atlantic Ocean. He is a descendant of 2 signers of the Declaration of Independence, that being Benjamin Rush and Richard Stockton. So he comes from a good stock, as they say, and hence the name Stockton. I'm so corny. But he graduated from Princeton with a degree in aerospace engineering in 1984, according to his company biography. And he cultivated a reputation as a kind of modern day Jacques Cousteau, a nature lover and adventurer, and visionary. And he said that it was always, it grew out of a childhood dream that he wanted to be an astronaut, but his eyesight wasn't good enough. So he founded OceanGate in 2009 with the stated mission of increasing access to deep ocean through innovation. And OceanGate currently operates 3 of those submersibles. So that's only 1. There are 2 more out there for conducting research, film production, and exploration travel, including tours of the site of the Titanic, more than 13,000 feet below the ocean surface. And of course, we talked about there's the 8-day mission costs $250,000 per person. And he is 61 and is believes that, well, he's stated to have believed that the sea rather than the sky offers humanity and the best shot at surviving when the Earth's surface becomes inhabitable. He was quoted as saying, "The future of mankind is underwater and is not on Mars. We will have a base underwater if we trash this planet. The best lifeboat for mankind is underwater." So where he's stuck at now is where he feels that all of humanity should try to live once they're done destroying this Earth. I'll be long gone by then, so y'all have at it. They said in his eagerness to explore, Rush has often appeared skeptical, if not dismissive, of regulations that might slow innovation. So this might be where we get into some of how we got here. They said in an interview, Stockton was quoted as saying, "The commercial subversive industry is obscenely safe because they have all these regulations. However, he then said, but it also hasn't innovated or grown because they have all of these regulations. So he's saying the regulations are the problem, not the actual submersible and what it's capable of. And it's very safe and there are no issues. It's obscenely safe, obscenely safe. I don't know. This is, I guess, is outside of the parameters of what obscenely safe looks like, because this ain't safe. But anyway, praying for him still. God protects babies and fools. So they're now saying that even with OceanGate's warnings from employees about the safety, they had appeared to be ignored and disregarded by Stockton. So there were warnings. I saw some more. I couldn't dig that deep for y'all, but there has been some conversation about some issues that employees felt the vessel had, and he was just kind of ignoring them and kept it moving. One of the other men currently on the submersible is Paul Henry, and I'm going to butcher his last name, but Nargiolet, something like that. A French maritime expert who has been on over 35 dives to the Titanic wreck site. So this wasn't his first trip down there. He is one of 5 people aboard the submersible. He is the director of water research for RMS Titanic Inc., an American company that owns salvage rights to the famous wreck and displays many of the artifacts in the Titanic's expeditions. The company conducted 8 research and recovery expeditions between 1987 and 2010, according to its website. I didn't know that any company owned rights to the Titanic's wreckage. That's crazy. That is crazy. There's money to be made everywhere, ain't it? Capitalism. And then we have British/Pakistani businessman. Again, I'm gonna butcher this name too. Shahzada Dawood. He's 48, and his son Suleiman, 19, are also among those aboard the missing submersible. He is one of Pakistan's wealthiest. Well, they are part of Pakistan's one of their wealthiest families, with a background in textiles and fertilizer manufacturing. He and his son embarked on a journey to visit the remnants of the Titanic. He is also board of trustees for the Search and Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute. The organization said on his website that he was a resident of Britain and a father of 2. So he has another child out there who is not with him. And then we have Hamish Harding, a British businessman and explorer. He was among those aboard. He's 58. He holds several Guinness Book World Records, including one for the longest time spent traversing the deepest parts of the ocean on a single dive. So we got some people who've been down there before. I don't know if what can they do if the ship is just, or the vessel is just broke down there, but they have some experience. So maybe they weren't freaking out immediately. I would assume at this point they are. Says Mr. Harding is the chairman of Action Aviation, a sales and air operations company based in Dubai. He had previously flown to space on a mission by Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket company. So he's getting around, seeing the whole atmosphere, the whole universe from top to bottom. Harding also took part in an effort to reintroduce cheetahs to India. So he's a humanitarian. What do they call it when people are into animals? It's not humanitarian. Whatever it is for the animals. He holds a world record for the fastest circumnavigation of the Earth via both geographic poles by plane. He's an adventurer. It's some kind of adventure now. He wrote on his Facebook page on Saturday that he was proud to finally announce that he had joined OceanGate's mission on the sub going down to the Titanic. And then on his Instagram on Saturday, he had pictures of the submersible and him signing a flag for the Titanic mission. He wrote on it that the group had sailed from St. John's, Newfoundland Canada on Friday and was planning to start dive operations around 4 a.m. on Sunday. Despite the winter being particularly hard, the Newfoundland this year, a weather window had just opened up, was what he said. Now, what has become more interesting about his story was that his son, who is not on this expedition, his son is walking on this ground, the solid ground like us, and but he's in the media because of his social media activity. And so his son, Brian, had posted, Hamish, my stepdad, is lost in a submarine. Thoughts and prayers that the rescue mission will be successful, with a prayer emoji and a black heart. Black heart. I don't know about the black heart thing. I mean, isn't that like sad? It's like dead. That's your dead heart. Is your heart dead already and you don't even know if he's gone? Don't know. I'm asking questions more than anything. But that wasn't, you know, that's fairly normal, except for the black heart is questionable to me. But in addition, he then at some point later posted this, and that is him at a concert, a Blink 182 concert, while his stepdad is lost at sea or lost in the ocean. And he says, it might be distasteful being here, but my family would want me to be at the Blink 182 show, as it's my favorite band and music helps me through difficult times. And again, black heart and a prayer heart. I don't know. I'm kind of reading through the lines with the black heart, but people do grieve differently. And so I'm giving benefit of the doubt, but social media don't really give benefit of the doubt much at all. So they're saying that he boldly posts that his family would want him to enjoy himself. And the funny part is that he said they would want me to, not that they told me to. So it's like you're making an assumption. So is it kind of like, yeah, I'm sure they'll be okay with this. Everybody be fine with this. Says the decision was met with mixed reactions, but he stood firm in his belief that music can help provide solace in challenging moments. That is true. That is factual. It is factual. I don't know if you need to go to a concert with a group and a crowd of people, but again, everyone grieves differently. Yes, Margin, you're saying the black heart instead of the should have been the broken hearts instead. I'm assuming, did they say his age? I don't think they ever said his age, but he's young enough that he grew up in the age of texting with emojis. He knows the appropriate emoji. I ain't judging though. I ain't gonna put it on him. He's his stepfather is hopefully it's happening now. Y'all let me know in real time, because the last time I looked at this story was probably 2 or 3 p.m. today. So I don't know if there's been any new developments, because I don't know if there have been any new developments. I want to get ahead of my story. So they said that his decision to attend the concert was also supported by his friends, who understood his need for escapism and from the ongoing search efforts. And I'm gonna put a little poll out here. See what y'all think. What do y'all think about Brian? How Brian is handling his grief? And then I'm like, this is his stepdad. We don't know what kind of relationship they really had. Is he kind of secretly celebrating? I don't know. But as far as updates, the last I checked, and if y'all know something different, put it in the chat so I'll know. But last I heard, as of today, the search teams has started hearing banging sounds from under the water. So there was a Canadian aircraft that detected underwater noises in search for the missing submersible. The search has narrowed to in an area where the noise was found. As of right now, the vessel has not been found, but the search still continues. If not found, the submarine is expected to run out of oxygen by Thursday morning, which unfortunately is just a few hours away. And I don't know what time zone. I don't know if that's Thursday. Is it Eastern time or is it some other time? I don't know. Let's see what y'all saying in the poll. Why is the poll? It's taking long to pop up on my side, the results. It says, was Hamish stepson wrong for going to the concert during this time? 62% of you say yes, he was wrong. 37% say no. I'm kind of impartial because it's not a good look. I'll say that for sure. I'm not impartial on that. It is not a good look. So what I would have suggested, but these younger generation, well, some of us old folk don't know how to keep stuff off social media. I say because what else is he gonna do? Is he gonna sit in the house and just cry and get depressed, or what is he gonna do? Go to the ocean and just stand at the seaside and wait? Like, so I could see trying to busy your mind so that, especially if he suffers from depression and all that, we don't know all those things. But I would say, because of public perception, it ain't a good idea to post that. He did not need to post that, and he's smiling and he in front of the bed. Take your picture, but you ain't got to post it. But nobody knows how to do that anymore. And then my last one for this story, because we're moving on to our next, is, have you ever wanted to see the Titanic up close? Now, I would say my answer is I actually do. I would not do it because, and probably by the time I would, technology would catch up to the point where it's almost as safe as flying in an airplane. The Titanic will probably be dissolved to just sea dust at that point. But I am fascinated by the story of the Titanic. I've watched so many documentaries on it. I've watched 20, 30 hours of stuff on the Titanic. So I am absolutely fascinated by it. But and I would love to see it like in real life, but chances are that's not going to happen. Chances are great that's not going to happen, because now this would be locked in my head. Because I used to feel like I wanted to go on these, like sometimes when I travel, especially going on cruises and stuff, some of the excursions, a couple of them that I've been on, some of the excursions, one of them I remember, it's been a couple, but one I remember in particular that I was like, man, had I known this, that one of the excursions could be getting in one of those submersibles, that I would have planned accordingly to do it. Because I think you have to reserve ahead or something. But I'm curious. So I may get in the submersible, but I don't want them taking me more than 6 feet under where if it if it goes out, I can get out and stand up. Because I can't really swim yet. I dropped out of swim school. I could float though. So I don't want to go no deeper than where I can stand up. So maybe 6 feet 2 inches deep. So have you ever wanted to see the Titanic up close? 83% of you said no, 17% said yeah. That's about what I expected of the results. So most of you are sane, and there are 17% of us who are not. All right, moving on to our next story. We have Saucy Santana, and I'm very curious. I put this in here of how many of you actually even know. This story is interesting to me because I'm not going to say because I follow social media to do the work that I do for y'all, coming to y'all with all this shenanigans. I'm very aware of him. I see quite a bit of what happens with him, but because I'm not sure if he's within the generation of what y'all would be interested in, I don't really come to y'all with his stuff. But this was big enough that I was like, this was trending. But as I was bringing it, I was like, I'm also curious of how many of y'all even know who the hell this is. But it's an interesting story, whether you know who he is or not. So Saucy Santana is now being drugged on social media by a Memphis LGBTQIA+ organization that called him out for allegedly skipping a booking and refusing to refund the deposit that he received. So basically, in summary, because it's when you get talking about the gays, it gets all messy and it's just all kind of twists and turns to the story. But basically, it's an organization in Memphis. They were hosting a Juneteenth Pride Day party, and Saucy was basically their headliner for the event. It was a one evening event held in a venue that held about 3,500 people. Saucy and his team booked with the promoter, who is basically a representative for this organization, from what I could tell from the story. And the guy interviewed with the Wiley show. So Wiley had like an exclusive with the guy talking to him. And so what the guy was explaining was basically these were funds that they received from the state of Memphis or city. I can't remember if it was city or state, but not the state is Tennessee, the city of Memphis. And it was basically for, I think, HIV, AIDS awareness and things like that. So it's money that was earmarked specifically for a purpose that would be related to that. And so this event, they was doing like a wraparound service with the event that it was promoting, you know, getting tested and things like that, and advocacy for that. And so they hired Saucy for $25,000, which is a little bit more than I thought he would be worth, to be honest. And he received, his team wanted $15,000 deposit, but because of the organization couldn't get their hands on that, and they wanted it in cash. That was the other piece. They wanted it in cash, and the organization couldn't get their hands on the cash in such sort of notice or something like that. So they ended up giving them $14,500 instead. So they were $500 short of the deposit amount. That's not ridiculous. And so they made a new agreement that the additional $500 would be put on the back end. So what the representative of the organization shared was, he said that Saucy's team didn't book his flight. Now, although they had taken care of this stuff days or weeks in advance or whatever, Saucy's team didn't even book his flight until the day of his booking, until the day of the concert. And Saucy got to the airport, like they just running that last minute. He gets to the airport and forgot his wallet. He forgot his wallet, which meant that then he couldn't get on the airplane. And so they had to go back and get his wallet, etc. So he missed that flight and he had to get on the next flight. So his team is communicating with the promoter of the event, etc. And Saucy ended up arriving at the event, arriving in Memphis at 9:30 p.m. The event, the contract said it was from 7:30 p.m. and the event ended at 10 p.m. He arrives at 9:30 p.m. In addition, the promoter says that Saucy told the driver, take him straight to the hotel because he needed to change. Now you're already hours late and now you're trying to go change. So of course now the event is, and you know, any of you who've rented a space or are aware of any of that, you know that when you rent a space, you rent it for a certain window of time. And when you go over that time, either you're just straight up getting kicked out or you're going to have to pay like an exorbitant amount of extra fees. So the promoter said he was talking with the owners because it happened to be owned by like a family. He said like a small business. It was a black family that owns the venue. And he was like, they had already opened up on Father's Day for them and they were missing family time. And so he was trying to, you know, get all that figured out. And Saucy's team was basically messing them around. I'll be trying not to curse on here, y'all. So sometimes I got to think of words I can use to give that power to what I'm trying to say without cursing. But so when the ish basically hits the fan, when, you know, now the event is over, there's nothing we can do. And they're saying, well, now we need to rectify this, but we want our money back. Like, just give us the deposit back and maybe we can rebook this for another time in the future. Well, now this is where they began to have problems because Saucy's team says that they don't have the money anymore. So they don't have the $14,500. So the promoter said that he started negotiating with them to get some of it back. So first he said, okay, if you don't have the $1,450, give me $10,000. They didn't have that. So then he went down to, I think, $8,500. They said, I think they were just messing him around and he never got that either. He then went to the hotel. He's talking to the tour manager, all kind of stuff. So then because of all of this and he's getting no results and he's not getting his money back, the promoter he's talked to TMZ. I got some of this from the Neighborhood Talk, as well as, again, like I told you, he interviewed on the Wiley Show. And he's basically now saying, if we don't get our money, because this ain't my money, and now my name is on the line because this was money from the city that was earmarked for a specific purpose, and it's like now they spent their money and did not deliver, it's messing up my reputation as a person in the nonprofit field, in like community organizer. That stuff is important. For those of you who understand that world, and I've been in that world, your reputation is everything. So he's dragging Saucy. He's now saying if they don't give him his money, he's going to sue. And if he has to sue, he's going to end up getting more money for, additional damages, the extra time at the venue, the I don't know, however many thousand people who were disappointed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the promoter also provided quite a few receipts. And I see y'all love to jump in front of my story, don't y'all? So here's the contract with the with Saucy and the promoter. And so we see here that the engagement time was supposed to be 7:30. I told y'all he didn't get there. He didn't get in the city till 9:30. He didn't even come to the event. He never made it to the event. And so he was supposed to receive $25,000 plus in all, plus hotel and ground and hospitality rider. So he not only received the $25,000, but by the time it was over, and I think the guy said they spent the extra $2,000 on top of that for all the amenities that he received on top of that. And then he posted like, here's the contract specifically stating that if the agreement, and this is from the Neighborhood Talk, y'all. Here's the contract specifically state that if the agreement is not met, the artist will owe 100% of the money back to the promoter. So he's like, laying this all out. It's very clear. There's no mistaking. Then he has proof of the first payment sent to Saucy's team. And then the actual money paid for the booking was given to the venue by the city of Memphis, rather. And then the rider, which I see y'all talking about, because this is the part, because social media love the mess. So they said Santana's $2,000 worth of show accommodations included 1 bottle of Alizé, 2 bottles of Don Julio, 1942, a box of Popeye's chicken. And the guy said, what we got? We got 12 cans of Red Bull, a case of Fiji water, chilled, dressing room and on stage. They wanted 1 case of Coca-Cola. Or he ain't drinking all this. This for his team. Orange juice, apple juice, assorted fruit platter, a box of Popeyes with a box of legs, box mixed with legs, wings, breast, white and dark meat, biscuits, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, and gravy, fries. Basically, give us Popeyes. Give us the restaurant. A handheld electric fan, Vaseline, cocoa butter gel. You ain't gonna bring your own damn Vaseline. Jesus. The degree deodorant spray for women. I guess when you look at this, are you surprised that he's wearing women's deodorant? I lost my place. Who we at? 12 black handheld black towels. You need 12 towels. You're only on the stage for about 45 minutes, if that. Dressing room on stage. We want 12 towels in each place. 3 hookah flavors. Bring something of your own. Blueberry and vanilla, blueberry and mint, and watermelon club event. I don't know what that means. And then 50, in addition to the Popeyes, they love some chicken though. In addition to Popeyes, they wanted 50 buffalo wings mild in to-go boxes at the club event. Okay, that's what they mean, at the club event. And then the ground transportation needs to be a black large SUV. Only Cadillac Suburban luxury Sprinter must have ground transportation the whole time in the city. Arrival to departure, no Uber Black. So very specific. And from what the promoter said, they provided Saucy with all of that. I forgot, you know what, y'all I just realized I forgot all about y'all comments on the last topic. I'll go back. So yeah, let me see. How many of y'all actually know? Do you know who Saucy Santana is? 55% of you say yes, 44% of you say no. Interesting. So it's almost half and half. I guess in a way, that's about what I figured. Do you find the story interesting? Is even if you don't know him, do you find the story interesting? I'm not gonna do that as a poll, but just let me know in the chat. But this is the last poll, and then I'm gonna read your questions from the. Y'all got to remind me if I'm skipping comments. I totally forgot until just now. No, I like to do the comments, then we move to the next topic, then we do the topic, then we do the comments, then we move to the next, because y'all know I edit these down into our highlight videos. So y'all helping me record content. Donna Hammond says, nah. Okay, let me do. Oh, it was only 3 anyway. Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't too many. Thank you again, Mr. 6'8". Y'all check him out. He's a YouTube content creator as well. We met like almost when I started. Actually, yeah, like a month after I started YouTube, or the same month. So I've been knowing him since 2020. Marianne Coker, one of the people that helped build the sub, came out and said that it was not safe. They sued him for saying anything, and then he countersued them because it was going to be to put people in danger. Interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how everything turns. I really hope that, really hope and pray that they all make it back out. But it'll be very interesting to see how that case plays out now with what's happening. Even if they make it out, the fact that it came to this level of an emergency is huge. Carolyn Chamberlain, thank you so much for the super chat, friends. Thank you for keeping us informed. My pleasure. Okay. Yeah, many of you find that writer interesting. Renee S. Love that chicken from Popeyes, right? Right. Never ending. He's something else. Yeah. And it's kind of hard to tell when you get to a certain level celebrity wise and you got a team. Who knows if he was at fault with all of this or if it's his team. Does he really control what his team does? Sometimes people use their team and they're the messy one and they just got their team carrying out their bad behavior. We don't know. Because to me, even the fact that he would forget his ID when he was supposed to be flying out, I'm like, where's your assistant? Like, there's people who are literally holding your hand through that piece of it. Like, oh, here's our checklist. Where's your ID? All of those things. That's what you paid him for. Because as a celebrity, when you get to that level where you're just ripping and running all across the world like that, you do have a lot on your mind. And so that's why you hire people to be concerned with the day-to-day stuff for you, to keep you on point. Who said no in that poll? I don't know which part of the no. Let me see what. Oh, I guess it was this last one I just did based on the timing of your comment. Let's see. I forgot what I asked. Do you think Saucy Santana owes this organization their money? 94% of you said yes. 5% said no. That's about what I thought. I would be interested just as Tiffany J. I'm thinking she's saying that she's just as interested as who's saying no to the poll. Let me know, like, what's your outline? What's your reasoning for saying no? And I get it. Like with anything, you'll never have people agree 100%. People have different perspectives on situations based on their own life experiences, et cetera, et cetera. They might be super saucy fans. I don't know what y'all call yourselves. So ain't no telling. Is the 6 are trolling? Right. Sometimes they could be trolls. They could be just contrarians, and anything I put up here, they're gonna say no to. It could be that. It truly could. I mean, with social media, nothing surprises me at this point. And I love it. I welcome it all. Whatever. It just is what it is. This is the alternate universe. This side of life, I tell you. This side of the screen, I'll put it that way. It is an alternate universe. Well, his beard and nail and skin is always popping. That is true. That is true. And he's had all kind of work done and everything at this point. Ain't nobody going to admit they said no. We're not going to attack y'all. I'm literally just curious. Well, I'll say this. I'll stop them from attacking y'all. Because I can't promise what they're going to say in the chat, but I can tell them to be kind. But no, I'm just curious, like, you know, the other perspective for sure. Because the way I look at it is obviously there was a failure to perform based on the contract, based on morality, like the moral part of this. You were booked to come there. I did see that, and what I did forget to do was I was going to do a little bit more research because Saucy and his team, I think him specifically, did come out combating these accusations. I forgot to do that, so I can't remember what he said. I heard it, but I haven't looked it up myself. He has been combating it, and one thing I do remember that was said was he said they basically didn't pay the deposit for him to show up, but he means that $500 that they were short, and it's like, that don't even sound right. Like, I mean, okay, it sounds right if you want to be petty like that, but they're also saying, yes, we were short the 500, but there was an agreement to put that additional 500 on the back end, which just makes sense. Like, he's getting 25,000 out of the whole thing. So I don't know. Saucy has a side. I'll put it that way that I don't have fully included in here. It literally just hit me that I forgot. Okay. Let me see. We will be kind and respectful to in here. Absolutely. Yes. We are purpose driven. We do a lot of shenanigans, but we are not like, you know, we don't do flying monkey behavior over here. We don't have hags over here. So we treat people with grace and kindness, but we still do the shenanigans. Don't get, and we only snap back at people who snap at us. That is all. Because I can't act like I don't snap sometimes. It's very rare, but y'all have seen moments. Y'all see sometimes they take me there, but it ain't my fault. It's their fault for taking it. Let me stop. Okay. Next story. And I'm gonna take a swig of water. Do I have any more videos? I feel like I'm just talking. My throat's starting to get dry. Next story is Monique and Chris Samuels. Their divorce is official. Yeah, I do have a video to play for this. Their divorce is official. And for those of you, I didn't do a poll on this. Do y'all know who? Let me put this in here. Do you know who she is? Short. Do you know who Monique Samuels is? So Monique Samuels, she's a reality star. She started out on The Real Housewives of Potomac, which I love. I've seen every episode. Can't wait for it to come back. It's actually my favorite. Is it my favorite? I think Married to Medicine is still kind of my favorite. Then Potomac, then Atlanta Housewives. But anyway, Monique was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey. She grew up in Pleasantville, New Jersey. She graduated from Pleasantville High School and briefly attended college before dropping out to pursue her music career in Washington, D.C. And if you remember from The Real Housewives of Potomac, first season, well, maybe her second season. No, it was the first season. She started rapping. She was saying she used to be a rapper, et cetera, et cetera. It was like not stellar. It was okay. It was like at a party, your homegirl rapping, you're like, oh, she good. But it wasn't like, I didn't see celebrity when I heard her. Anyway, Monique married former football player Chris Samuels in 2012. The couple had 3 children together. And as Monique would say on the show, it reminds us quite often, she has many homes. And however, their primary residence was in Potomac, Maryland. May still be, well, at least one of them. It may still be for one of them right now. Monique began appearing as a main cast member on the reality television show, The Real Housewives of Potomac, during its second season in 2017 and departed following its 5th season in 2020 after that infamous fight with Candace, which is when I'm just not a fan of hers. And I know some of you will be, and that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. But that left, I already had issues with her, like her aura and the way she carried her. It was a little too much. And then that happened. And it wasn't just the fight itself. It was the fact that she was like going in and went after they broke up the fight, she just kept trying to get to Candace. I just saw a side of her that just kind of reinforced why her spirit wasn't working with Matt, kind of thing. So anyway, she returned to reality TV in 2022, starring alongside her husband on the reality series Love and Marriage DC. And I never watched that show. I think I watched one episode of the original Love and Marriage, and I've never seen any of them. I know some people love it. I hear a lot of talk about it, but I just never gave it a real chance. But anyway, did they make it 2 seasons? Because I feel like I heard that they had stopped before they next season or something, but I don't know. Anyway, in April of this year, Monique filed for divorce from her husband after 11 years of marriage. And let's see how many of you. Okay, 55% of you. This actually, I thought it would be more, but okay, 55% of you know who she is. 45 said no. That's interesting. I actually thought it would be more of you who would know who she is. I guess a lot of y'all don't watch this reality TV. I thought this was a reality TV crowd. Okay, so for those of us who are aware of her and do watch the shows that she's been on, did you see this divorce coming? And I'll give a disclaimer. I don't think that they owe us anything when it comes to this, as far as putting all the information out of what happened and who said what and when and da. I believe it's up to them what they want to share. What I will say, though, is because when you go on reality TV, you do offer up your life for public consumption. So you can't then choose what people will try to get information on or try to know. Like, you can't control that part once you put it out there. So you really can't control that part, even if you don't put it out there. Sometimes just being a public figure, but that's a whole nother story. So in a live stream video on Monique's YouTube channel that was done around October, well, it was actually done on October 17th of 2022, the then couple adamantly denied that they were divorced or separating, and chucked it off as rumors and lies from a woman who I think was Monique's best friend, because a little bit, I think, after the Candace situation, Monique fell out with her, like, I think even like high school best friend or something. Like, they had been friends a very long time. And then the friend started outing how she was a gold digger and she purposefully went after Chris because he was a football player, all these things. And she was dragging Monique. And so one of the things that Monique was saying when this story came out was that she just said it came, a woman told People magazine this and they just ran with the story, basically. And Monique was stating that it was unethical journalism on the part of People magazine for getting the story wrong and not getting the information from the source. So I got a little clip here, but it's a little longer than the clip. But this is what they were doing less than a year ago. Uh-oh, did I hit the right button? Hold on. Did I hit the right button? Or is the computer just thinking? Okay, I hit the right button. Good.
Y'all gonna get these promos. Listen here. Every time anything is going on, I am definitely going to come with my own shenanigans. Y'all know I ain't gonna miss a marketing moment. Y'all should know that about me by now. Let me go ahead and put my little banner up while I'm talking, so anybody that picks up this conversation, they can go ahead and promote my darn business while y'all at it. Thank you. You never do reality TV unless you're doing it to promote something. So,
and hold on. I forgot I had my camera. So you'll see me. I'm gonna stop and go throughout because this is like 8 minutes long, but I'm gonna chop it. I'm gonna just talk through a lot of it. If you want to see the whole thing uninterrupted, please do not comment in any parts of my video about me talking through it. This is commentary. This is a commentary channel. But if you want to see the entire video, it is definitely on her YouTube channel. That's where I got it from. But there's things like that her attitude, her energy just don't work for me, y'all. So I'll be stopping here or there to give my little commentary. But it's all of that. It's that, yeah, it's all of that. Let me not go in too deep.
Y'all already know what time it is. So yeah, we're gonna get right to it though. I'm trying to get back to the comments. So yeah, yesterday I went hiking and then I didn't have any service. So as I'm like driving, all of a sudden my phone is like blowing up. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? So tell the truth. Oh, y'all already know. Now y'all know anytime
Thank you. Paula C kind of summed it up. She's extra. That's what I think. I couldn't put words on it and I didn't want to go too hard, but she's extra. But I think I didn't summarize, give an overview of what this is here. So back in October of last year, People Magazine put out an article stating that they were separated and on the brink of divorce. They got that information from insiders because the insiders were saying they no longer live together, et cetera, et cetera. And it went viral. So the first thing that Monique did, and I couldn't find it because I told you I archive a lot of stuff on social media when it's like, people like this. And so I don't know where it's at, and I didn't want to dig because I knew it was deep somewhere. But I had back then, she took to her social media and her Instagram, and she was like, I'm hearing these rumors that we not together. And then all of a sudden she turns the camera and he's just like this, right on the side of her, and she's flossing her ring and all of this other stuff, talking about we still together, all of this. Now she's doing all of that, and then she did this 1 hour, it was an hour and 8-minute live stream from her YouTube channel explaining the situation. And I felt like, even with all of that, I was like, I'm not buying it. Something ain't right. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. But also, she's over explaining, like, you're trying too hard to convince us that everything is okay. Well, she's transparent, but I'm like, you're trying too hard to change the narrative, which to me then says there's more to it. So that's where this comes from. This is her trying to explain away the fact that it's now gone viral that they were breaking up back in October of last year. Fast forward to April, she had secretly filed for divorce. No one knew it. Now, as of today, they are they're probably, I don't know if they're divorced as of today, but they had a hearing today.
Monique, we are stressed. Anytime people are trying to take anything that is involving us, you already know we're going to set the record straight. We done did it before. And here we are once again. Yes. So, all right. So I had to write some thoughts down.
She gonna be prepared.
Because y'all know, listen, I had to get my bullet points together because there's so many things and there's never one way to explain a situation. It's just our way. So everybody want a statement? Here goes a statement. Okay. So it's no secret that Chris and I have been like struggling in some areas of our marriage. Anybody who watched Love and Marriage DC last year, y'all saw the arguing. Y'all saw all of that was going on. It was just lots of confusion. It was crazy building up to that 10-year mark of our marriage. And so what y'all saw on Love and Marriage DC last season, the first season, it was like my cry for help. It was like, I've been saying the same things and he's not hearing me and I've just had it up to here. So we've done a great job at being very transparent and honest with everyone that has either followed us on social media or watched us on the show, on either show. The fact that people are praising a rumor of divorce or a possible dissolution of a marriage after all of the divorces that have been popping up lately that were actually legally filed and everything else, that's sad that people were like praising that. Are Chris and I getting a divorce? No, we're not getting a divorce. Are Chris and I going our separate ways, as People Magazine love to state? Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels are going their separate ways. Absolutely not. Nobody ever said that. Okay. Have we filed a legal separation? No.
I don't know if I included this part in it when I edited this down because, like I said, it was an hour and 8-minute live stream. I didn't have time today to watch the whole thing, but I grabbed a meat of it. I think I recorded maybe close to 30 minutes of it, and I clipped it down to 8 minutes. So some pieces I cut out, but I don't know if I cut out the part where she said, and I'm gonna be reading from my notes because I gotta. And then he was like, "Yeah, she always got those notes." So I was like, I don't know if it was. I get it too because I am anal like that. But when things are real for me, I don't necessarily need bullet points. But you could see someone just said, always trying to control the narrative. I think I started. It's a lot. It's a good problem to have, but it's a lot of y'all commented. There's a lot of us in here, so I can't find it quickly. But somebody said that she's always trying to control the narrative, which is very true. And I think this points to it. The fact that she literally, and as you listen through the live, as far as I got through it, she literally, you could tell, was going point by point with it's almost like she said on social media, going through every comment and then felt like she needed to explain or contradict what people were saying in the comment. It literally looked like, it's like you don't have to combat every angle that a person may come from with it.
Have we filed for divorce? No. Is there any document that proves of any divorce filings? No. Have we separated to the extent of breaking up? No. So
is that phony for anybody else but me? There's a level. I do believe in the moment all that part was true. They hadn't done that, but I believe their marriage was in big trouble and they were not living together, and divorce was on the table as an option. It just had not been executed. Like that step hadn't been taken yet, but I believe it was on the horizon and they knew it. But the fact that they're trying to play it off, I don't know, it just seems fake and phony to me.
So let me just tell y'all about what was going on as we prepare for season 2 of Love and Marriage DC. So what we were planning to showcase this season on the show was that Chris and I were going through a process, and the process that we were going through was in order to fix our marriage by working on our personal issues. We wanted to take a step back and focus on ourselves. If I'm not good for him or my children. If he's not good for himself, me, or the children. So we wanted to take a step back, right? So at the end of the day, if I have some trauma that's undealt with, whether it's involving Chris or not, and vice versa, if we don't deal with it, how is that going to allow our marriage to survive, right? So we have multiple homes. We decided that we would spend some nights apart so we can give each other space while we're.
I swear, this is when she started to go downhill for me on the Real Housewives of Potomac, because in the first scene she was ever in, and I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong, but in the first scene, she mentioned her homes. And I would say by the third or fourth time I heard her say it, like throughout that show, probably in that same episode, I was like, okay, she too much. She is too much. Why you always, if we have multiple homes? For one, you're not the only person with multiple homes, but why is that necessarily constantly? It's almost like she's trying to prove something. Like it seems like there's a high level of, and if I remember, she did have like a traumatic childhood or a lot going on. I think that came out during the Real Housewives of Potomac when that thing happened with Candace, and it was like Candace triggered something in her from her childhood, but then she started sharing some of her story, and it was like, oh, you trying too hard. This is just you trying too hard.
On our counseling journeys, he's in counseling, I'm in counseling. So we're most definitely still together. We haven't given up on our marriage, and we didn't break up, and we're not looking to divorce. So we're simply trying to be better. It's the same conversation that I had even with Ashley, because a lot of people are trying to throw Ashley under the bus. Ashley is innocent. Leave her alone. She did not start this stuff. People Magazine got a call from some woman and took it and ran with it. So we'll get to that in a second. They didn't even allow us an opportunity to even put it on the show, to get it out there, to let y'all see what we're going through, right? So we haven't even given an opportunity to start filming. We literally haven't even filmed yet, right? If we decided that we were going to ultimately either legally separate or get a divorce, at that point, it would have made more sense for us to then go public, right? So we have a lot of supporters. Everybody that's here, some of y'all support, some of y'all don't. Some of y'all are just here just for whatever, and that's fine. I appreciate you get my views up, so that's all good because I'm monetized. So anyway, People Magazine ought to be ashamed of themselves. Yep. They created an article without any confirmation, without any statement from the married couple. They had the audacity to reach out to my publicist, and they said, hey, can we get a statement? My publicist is like, this isn't true. No. And they said, well, we're going to run with the story anyway. That's what they said. we're going to run with the story anyway, right? This is what you call unethical journalism. All right. They're supposed to be a credible source. And they said, we're going to run with the story anyway.
No fact check. None of that.
There's no legal filing. There's no divorce. Nobody hired any attorneys. None of that. And they said, we're going to run with the story anyway. Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels are going their separate ways. What does that sound like to y'all? I thought they were credible as well. And I stopped doing interviews with People Magazine after they just did the most. After that fight with Candace years ago, I did an interview with them and they shredded my interview into pieces. They might as well have. Everything that we talked about on my interview call, they just simply did an article that was trying to back whatever the narrative was that they wanted to push for the season. And at that moment, I said, I will never, ever again do an interview with People Mag. And I have not since. Okay? So now y'all know. And thank you to all the outlets that thought People was a credible source and reposted it and then came back and said, hold on. Shout out to y'all too. Appreciate it. So yeah. So at the end of the day, my ring is still on my finger. Because we have not gotten to a point where we're like, you know what, we're done with each other. We have not crossed any of those roads or bridges. And if we did, that would be our business. That would be up to us. Chris don't never wear his darn ring anyway. So if y'all going off Chris ring, y'all gonna think we always separated. We always heading down to the divorce court. Honestly, I am very happy. Like I've not been this level of peace and happy in such a long time. Same. Chris and I have not been in this place where we could just sit with each other, laugh and joke. And at the end of the day, 2 days after my birthday, dick me down in the closet. Like, well, I mean, you did though. And it was good. So good after I went out to dinner with all of my LAMGC. Yo, then I drove all the way to Newburgh for the day.
Surprise.
So I think this is where some of y'all say she talks too much. She's too chatty. I just realized I meant to like mute those parts out and beep them out. But I think, yeah, I totally forgot. And there's it's almost over, but there's a part that gets a little bit more TMI, as Veronica Forever is saying.
That was me.
1 o'clock in the morning. And
it always seems like she's kind of dragging him along into it, almost like he doesn't fully have his own mind. It's a little odd, but yet he's strong-minded too. Like he seemed like at home behind the scenes, he don't let her run over him, but in front of the camera, he kind of do a little bit. I don't know. It's very odd.
Got a speeding ticket and everything.
It was well needed. Now it's been a minute.
Yo, yeah, we were struggling for a little bit. We were honestly, and it's crazy because when you're in marriage, sometimes you get to those points where you just don't see the end of the road. You just be like, yo, like, are we going to really like make it through? Like, how are we going to get through this? It seems so large of an issue that you don't know what's going to happen next. But every step that we've been taking has been a step in a positive direction. And honestly, I love this man enough to either be with him or if he ever decided like, look, maybe this ain't what I want. I love him enough to just be like, all right, well, I want you to be happy. What about how you
I feel the same way, but I ain't going nowhere. We're gonna work through this.
Yeah.
But I will say we're in a great place and we haven't been in this place in a long time. After we made love, let me clean it up. I think I'm rubbing.
Make love.
I'm serious on there, girl.
I'm sorry.
She said that, man. Come on, man.
We were going on. I am definitely going.
Yeah, she said the F-bomb. That's the part I manually muted it out. That's how I messed up. But anyway, I ain't gonna torture y'all. I ain't gonna torture y'all anymore like I was tortured to bring this to y'all. Y'all see how much work I be doing for y'all? That's why I told you I've been doing this for hours and hours. Okay, so I'm gonna recap these polls real quick. Wait. 72% of you said that you did see this divorce coming, and 27% said no. Do you think People Magazine is a credible media source? 78% of you say yes, 21% of you say no. I saw someone commenting about it's a little more tabloid like than it used to be. I could see that a little bit too. I don't think I've yet, and it could just be that I don't know and haven't heard it off the top of my head, but I personally cannot think of any stories I've seen or heard of thus far that have been fake from People magazine, but I could be wrong, but just what I've seen myself. And obviously they were on the mark with this to some degree. And then the other one was, do you believe what Monique was saying at the time was true? So basically this video we watched, again, could y'all imagine? That was 1 hour and 8 minutes of that. And I have no idea where she went after that, because that was enough. But do you believe when she did that at the time, do you believe it was true in her mind, in their mind? And 82% of you say yes, 17% of you say, I'm sorry, did I say yes? 82% of you say no, and 17% of you say yes. Do you believe what she was saying at the time was true? So 82% of you say no. I believe it was like some true, some not true. I believe she wanted to save her marriage at that point still, or they wanted to save their marriage at that point. She's the one that filed, so maybe he still wants to save the marriage. I don't know. Thank you so much, Marjan, for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Put it on the screen. There you go. Thanks so much. Okay, so People Magazine followed up with their original story, because remember, while she was denying it, they were the first one to break this story. And I think because of all that she did to drag them, as you saw, that was another reason I kept that in there. So that you could see how she drugged People Magazine, saying that they were not credible and they were unethical and all these other things. And so I think, she obviously burned some bridges. And people have to remember that the people who work at these places are everyday people. These reporters are just everyday people like us. So if you burn one of them, they might have a vengeance for you, and they might be petty. And it looks like, I believe People Magazine was being a little petty, because they're the people who put out this article and then everybody else followed it. So they said the Montgomery County Family Court confirmed to People Magazine on Tuesday that the Real Housewives of Potomac alum has officially filed for divorce from former NFL player who is 45. Though Monique has filed a petition to seal the documents, she don't want nobody in the business, it's too late. The docket shows that she filed a complaint for absolute divorce on April 14th. She then filed an amendment complaint for absolute divorce on June 15th. So originally she filed in April. They missed that. Nobody caught that. But then June 15th, they caught this one. The former couple's divorce has yet to be finalized. However, Monique and Chris are scheduled for a hearing today. Well, earlier today, they were scheduled for a hearing. And they said People reached out to Monique and Chris for comment. As we saw what Monique said, she ain't talking to them. She don't like them. And they said People confirmed in October of 2022. So now they doubling back. I told y'all, these magazines, these reporters can be petty. They doubling back to say in October 2022, People confirmed that Monique and Chris had called it quits after 10 years of marriage. The former couple, who wed in 2012, shared 3 children. So they like, remember we told y'all this back in October of 2022. They said, we confirmed. They said they haven't appeared on each other's respective Instagram grids since December of 2022. So that's like immediately October, November, December. Y'all didn't even make it through the holidays. Y'all ain't got no Christmas pictures up. Y'all didn't make it through the holidays. Y'all even make it through Thanksgiving? Or was Thanksgiving like, I'm tired of playing faking this with you. I don't even want to be around you no more. Says neither party has posted anything to commemorate their 11th wedding anniversary, which was on March 3rd, as well as no post about Mother's Day or Father's Day. Additionally, Chris has unfollowed Monique and her company, Not for Lazy Moms, on Instagram. Why do people do? Because that's what people run to say. Oh, have they unfollowed each other? I don't even know why grown people do that. I ain't judging y'all, but I don't do that. I don't bother unfollowing people. I'll block. Now, what I will do is I'll what do they call it? Silent. It's not silence, but when you take it where it won't show up on your feed, I forgot what you call it. But I'll do that. But I don't really unfollow. I don't block. I will block people. I don't unfollow people I know for real, not in real life. Monique and Chris' marital issues were apparent during the first season of Love and Marriage DC, airing in early 2022. This makes me now want to watch the show because I really want to see how it escalated, what it looked like on Love and Marriage DC. Because I do remember hearing things in social media, but I wasn't watching it, so I wasn't paying a lot of attention. But I would love to see what happened, how the dynamic shifted from what I saw on Potomac, which you saw her complaining on Potomac about him too. And it says, while she also confirmed that the pair were doing therapy solo to work on their personal issues, Monique insisted that they aren't getting divorced and are absolutely not going their separate ways. The other piece that I cut off with her cursing and all that, I just clicked off quick, but was that she also said, actually, I'm gonna play it for y'all because I got this other poll coming up. It's all of a couple seconds. Let me pull that back up. So I did all this work.
Want to come with my own shenanigans. It was backed up. We have a lot of supporters. Do you really think that something this major, we would allow somebody else to speak for us? We would be giving a statement. We would be telling you, and I would be giving an exclusive on my own darn platform, not somebody else's. So I'm not going to let anybody ever tell my story.
So back then in October, she was saying she's not going to let anyone else tell her story. However, she filed in April of 2023. I guess reality is different than, when she putting on stunts and tricks and shows. Because reality is like, I don't want to talk to nobody about it. I don't want to go to my own platform and tell people that and it's bad. I'm not celebrating the end of their marriage at all. It's sad and all that. But yeah. Wow, this poll is shocking. What I just put out there is, are you a supporter or fan of Monique Samuels? 85% of you said no. I thought it would be way more than that. And 14% of you say yes, you are a fan of hers. Interesting. Now, what I would love, this is, I almost wish we were in like a room together so I could be like, well, was this because of the Candace situation, or have you never really cared for her? Was it the show itself? Were you like me? It was through the Potomac show. You were good with her at first, and then you started to see a lot of stuff, and it started to fade more and more and more. And that's what it was. It was fading more and more for me, till it was like, okay, she can stay on the show, but she ain't one of my favorite characters. Then that fight happened, and the way she behaved during the fight after it got broke up, and then she kept trying to go for her. But also, and Candace, I ain't justifying Candace at all, because Candace can be very ratchet. But then also, after all the social media stuff, it was like she never apologized. She never saw her wrong in any of it. It was crazy. Donna says, I think she thought the baby was going to be the glue for her marriage. Yeah, I do kind of vaguely remember when she got pregnant, because that was on Potomac, if I'm not mistaken, unless they had another baby that I don't know. But I think Potomac was her youngest child was born through that time. And I do vaguely remember that kind of being some of the conversation. Valerie says, not surprised by the Samuel's divorce news. Saw it coming since season 1. I will say to a degree, I did too. It just didn't seem rooted very deeply. It just didn't. It seemed like she was the kind of woman who, if he lost his money, she would be gone. That's how I felt about it. Because a lot of her worth seemed based in the financial success of her husband, from what my opinion. They always say where there's smoke, there's fire, and you can tell here. Yeah, absolutely. I knew when the mother called her a B, it wasn't going to last. I'm with you, Madam X. That was something I thought about as I was watching, recording that for y'all, editing that video clip. That some people's parents or mamas are a little off, But in general, if that mama ain't feeling your spouse, you need to pay attention to that. And that mama, and I'm like, after all those years, even like I could see in the beginning, because her son was a professional athlete. You know, there's some women who just, they gold diggers. That's what they're going for. There are men out there too like that. Don't get me wrong. But there are some people who go for that. So I could see the mom being very defensive of that. However, the fact that the mom was still feeling that way, and they were like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years into their marriage at that point, to me, that was a red flag. Because I'm like, that mama knows something. That mama see the side that we don't see. And she hadn't warmed up to it by then. Plus, on top of that, what we would see ourselves. Yeah, I was like, there's something wrong with this. Right, Precious. Body language doesn't lie. Yeah, to me, Chris's body language said it all. Right, I Santiago. Me. That's all. We really just could have put that on repeat. Me. You would have got the gist of that live stream she did. She always talks about how Chris did stuff wrong, but I didn't see it. I could see, because even in this parts I clipped out of, edited out, they were talking about how she felt like the weight of the family was on her. Now, the way I saw it was like he was the provider and he seemed kind of old school, but she was saying like he just wasn't present. And he admitted in that particular live stream, he later admitted saying that he was lost. Like after his career was, he retired, he lost his purpose, because since he was a child, football was everything for him. He worked to get in the NFL. That was his blood, sweat, and tears went into that. And when he no longer had that, he was kind of lost and just existing. And so although he was successful financially and all of that, he still felt like unfulfilled and lost. And because of that, he wasn't fully present with his family and engaging and all of those things. So I could see that as well. But I also feel like there was a level of ungratefulness on her part. But that's just from the outside looking in, though. Marlena B is saying it messed her up when they aired the scene of her and Chris getting into it. And I'm wondering, are you talking about with the Love and Marriage show? Because I never saw that show. I feel like I'm gonna probably end up watching it now because I'm interested. The woman was her family member. Okay, interesting. I wonder what family member was it? I wonder, was it one of Chris' family members? Or did she piss off her own family member? Which means that there's some level. Well, and she admitted in that live, again, I don't know if I had that part in there, but she admitted that they weren't even living together. They were living in separate houses, but she treated it more like, yeah, just because we're working on ourselves, and you know, just like sometimes people sleep in separate rooms, you know, to get some space and to rekindle and come back together, we, you know, would live in separate houses. What? And then when she talked about going there to make whoopee, it was quite a drive where he lived. So it also makes me wonder, with her filing for divorce in April, did he start to have some other relationship? Because I'm like, you live so far away, you can literally have a whole different life. So ain't no telling. Maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't. It was probably Chris' mama that got People magazine with the scoop. Right. It may have been. You never know. Now, he claimed his mama didn't know in that live stream. He said that he was upset because all of this stuff, his social media, now all of a sudden his family was calling him. He had to tell his mom because she didn't know, et cetera, et cetera. Could be that the mom did know, but she played like she didn't know. Does anyone know how long they were married? They said, what did I say, 11 or 12? 11 years. They were married 11 years. Can't wait to see who gets the multiple homes right. Well, so far it's quiet, so it may not be like a Kim and Croy situation, because that's getting real crazy. I ain't talked to y'all about that in a minute, but we gonna touch bases on that probably next week sometime. But we'll see. Right, and she was definitely giving TMI. All right, well, on to our next story. I'm looking at the time, and I'm looking at, we'll probably be right at a little over probably 2.5 hours. So for those of y'all on the East Coast, I apologize, but I've realized that it's hard for me to get these live streams with all the pieces I told you I got to do. It's just something about the 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern time frame that works better for any earlier than that. I'm like, I can't get everything done. And then I got all this anxiety around it because I'm like, oh God, I'm not ready. But anyway, our next story is DaBrat. DaBrat, who is actually a Chicago girl, born and raised on the west side of Chicago. I actually knew people love to say how they knew somebody, but I actually knew her cousins. Okay, so DaBrat is this is a little story I picked up. It wasn't necessarily trending or anything, but it came across my timeline on Instagram because DaBrat is, if you don't know, DaBrat is pregnant with her first child ever. I didn't put her age down here, but I want to say DaBrat is maybe 51 or something, 50, something like that. And she's having her first child, and with her wife Judy, who I didn't pull a picture in here. But there was a video of DaBrat with her sister Lisa Raye, her half sister Lisa Raye, and they've been having a lot of issues on and off over the past couple years since she's been with Judy specifically, like publicly, I'll put it that way. And one of the things was there was some 40. Okay, y'all saying she's 49. Thank y'all for that. So DaBrat is 49. Should be 50 by the time the baby pop, probably. But anyway, so they were having issues, and I was hearing that she was saying that she didn't know that DaBrat was pregnant, like she heard through social media. But I think someone got the story confused, and I think it was when DaBrat and Judy had this advertisement they did of a new product line Judy was launching, and they said preparing for our new arrival or something, and they did it on purpose to seem like a birth announcement, and it took off on social media, and Lisa Raye thought it was a real baby as well, like a situation with it, but it wasn't back then, but now it is. So I think people were getting confused. But long story short, DaBrat had posted on her on Instagram, when your big sister pulls up and loves on you like only my punk at the real Lisa Raye can. We have lived amazing lives, been to hell and back, traveled the world, beat up bitches. I haven't read this yet, y'all. I just realized as I started reading, like, oh, I never read it. I just screenshot and put it in this for y'all. That's some West Side Chicago stuff for you. So she says, been to hell and back, traveled the world, beat up bitches, married royalty, been locked up, did movie, produced and directed television, learned from the illest Chicago bosses, including their father, ran in crews of the beast, a beast who I won't dwell on. I could go on forever, but we're just blessed to still be alive and thriving and still be able to make beautiful memories together. She will now be our son's auntie. Oh, I didn't know she was having a boy. Son's auntie. Never in all of our years could we have imagined this little miracle drop. We're so blessed. I'm having a baby with my wife, twin flame, and soulmate at the real Judy, but now get to experience the deepest meaning of being a woman, motherhood. I couldn't ask for more. I won't complain. Hashtag Baby Harris DuPark, King Beautiful, and Roll and Spoiled. Yeah, that baby gonna be spoiled rotten. I hope they at least get a baby morals and stuff, because Judy got some issues with her children, making me a little nervous. Okay, so I'm pulling in the clip. I should have did this while I was reading, because I'm gonna have to do most of it silent. There's some copyright stuff, music playing in the background. This part y'all can hear though. So this is Lisa Raye, who ended up. Well, I think she explains it in this next part.
So we are at Dr. Jackie. Today is June 19th. Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth. I am today 35 weeks pregnant. They told me don't say months because pregnancy is actually 10 months and not 9. But anyway, so much stuff that I'm learning that I had no idea about. Still so much stuff I don't know. But anyway, look who's here. There's my beautiful and they go my punk. Can y'all believe it? Oh my God, it's crazy. It's the first time Punk ever stayed at my house. I always stayed at her house all my life. So it's just crazy. I don't know. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I'm pregnant and all that stuff. So yeah, 49 and pregnant. Don't you cry. All right, see y'all later. We had Dr. Jackie. Bye.
Together enough to call because I didn't want to panic and then make you feel like, hey, what's going on? You alright? You know, and then her too. But it was like, oh no, I haven't even gotten there to see the belly or no doctor's appointments or whatever. And I was like, now what if I just show up and then the baby comes? Like, that'd be something. Together enough to
Okay, I'm muting that part. That's Lisa Raye. She was saying Lisa Raye is spending the night. Well, y'all saw that part where she's spending the night at her house for the first time ever. And Lisa Raye is in the kitchen cooking all kind of goodies for them, making salads and some other stuff I couldn't identify, to be honest. I saw somebody put that the gender reveal, that they did the gender reveal a while back. And now when I saw that comment, I was like, you know what? I did see that post, but Judy posts so much and it's so clickbaitish that I tend to ignore her stuff a lot. So I do remember that. That was Nicole Driver I'm seeing here. Talked about the gender reveal. But yeah, that is the update on that. So it's good. It's good to see that they are have rekindled that. Lisa Raye is getting to, you know, be up close and personal. I noticed her commenting about Lisa Raye in the waiting. What do they call it? Waiting room? Do they call it the physical room? Whatever they call it, at the doctor's office, and she was saying, you know, she hadn't been around, et cetera, and she was thinking about popping up, you know, all this stuff. And I know based on, you know, because I've watched their reality show and some and all of that, and know that that Judy has had some issues with Lisa Raye and how she treats DaBrat, et cetera, et cetera. But it always seems like her energy is very low. Like she's just tolerating because that's her wife's sister. But she's like, I don't like that B. And this is DaBrat performing. I actually just ran into this while doing the research for y'all. And I'm gonna throw out a poll question because I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I'm all for like being happy, you know, welcoming babies, baby bumps, and all that good stuff. I just thought this was a very interesting design choice, and I was just curious what y'all would think about it. Let's see the ones we just did the polls. Go back down here. 97% of you do know who DaBrat is. Okay, that's good for her. That means she's known. Do you think that Lisa Raye and Judy really like each other? 64% of you say no. 35% of you say yes. So 64% of you, we see each other. I'm like, because you can read body language and all of that. She never. I don't know. It's never a warmness. It's more like she's tall. I never see her smiling or like, girl, blah, blah, blah. Like, you just never see that warmth. It's just almost like dead in the eye. And Judy's not like that in general. Like, I'll see her get like that when she's in business mode. You see her handling business. She gets very like that. But I wonder, what is her sign? If y'all know Judy's sign, let me know her zodiac sign. But yeah, you'll see her because she seems like she got Capricorn or Sagittarius energy or something. But she never just I mean, the wedding day, all of that is just always like, I'm only dealing with you because I got to. So last question is, would you wear this look with the baby bump cut out? 83% of you say no. 16% of you say yes. Okay. Oh, and then there's the story of how many of you know? Let me do this. I'm adding this one in last. I mean, impromptu. Do you know the story about their millionaire father? Oh, I didn't hit it. Do you know the story about their millionaire father? His life story. I ended up hearing about it. This is a few months ago now, and it was so fascinating to me that I was like, I'm gonna do that story. Might end up just doing it in a live stream now at this point. But I'm curious how many of you know. Oh, the great majority of you don't know about it. 42% of you know about the story. 58% of you do not know. So it's a very interesting story. He was 60. Well, it's going up. The number's going up. The story of their father is very interesting. He was a self-made millionaire businessman in Chicago, like he owned hotels and various like bars and other business ventures he had. He was also known as a ruthless businessman. Now, they didn't say that he did anything illegal. Don't know if he did or didn't, but that wasn't the story. But it was like he was supposedly a legitimate entrepreneur. Long story short, he was unalived by his longtime live-in girlfriend. And so it's a very, very interesting story. But when he was unalived, they weren't sure who had done it because he had so many enemies. But then it come to find out that it was the girlfriend, live-in girlfriend. And I think he was also, if I'm not mistaken, he was abused. Oh, and I think he was robbed and he was paralyzed. He was paralyzed. And I think it was from a robbery gone wrong kind of thing. Well, gone right, I guess, to the robber. So he was paralyzed at that point, had the live-in girlfriend, all this other stuff. And then and he was a ladies' man. He was very attractive too. Yeah, Precious is saying he was very ruthless. Right. So when that did happen to him, when he was unalived, they was like, this could be anybody. Come to find out it was the girlfriend, but then she ended up doing it to her next boyfriend. So that's how she ended up finally getting caught up. So it's interesting. Yeah, so we'll do that story eventually because it's fascinating. And it's, from my hometown of Chicago and all of that. 57% of you were not aware. Okay. All right. Oh, let me see if I got any comments before I move on. Oh, did I do them all? Okay. Yep, I did them all. Okay. Okay, so then we're moving on. We got how many more stories? 2 more, right? No, they're short though. Yeah, they're all short. We got 3 more stories. 3 more stories. Okay, so moving on to the next story. And that is some of y'all's favorite singer. I ain't gonna lie. I grew up on R. Kelly. Being from Chicago, he was a local. He was always around at my high school. Y'all already know these stories. Sure, y'all heard them plenty of times. Yes, I was one of the people who actually bared witness to those behaviors that I didn't know at the time were as wrong as they were. I was a kid, teenager, didn't know. We thought it was cool. Anyway, R. Kelly is back in the news, even while being locked away. And there's an audio that has surfaced of the disgraced R&B singer claiming that he is scared for his life while sitting inside a Chicago correctional center. I'm not sure where he's at, y'all. I think he's in Cook County Jail. And then when I was reading articles, they were saying Chicago Metropolitan Correction Center. And I'm like, I don't know that name unless they can change the name or something. We just call it Cook County Jail. But I think that's where he's at. I don't think he's in prison yet. But he claimed that he almost was taken out of here. He says after having blood clots in his legs, which he alleges were neglected by the medical staff at the prison. So we have a little audio of him. And this is from, well, they said in the, you can't ignore it, but the audio clip is from Rap House TV, and it's going to repeat it multiple times through the audio. They were making sure nobody just took their stuff.
Get the rest of my life in prison. I want to die on
Rap House TV.
natural causes, and I deserve that. I don't deserve to die because somebody miscommunicated or somebody took a guess at what's going on with my legs.
Rap House TV.
I'm not supposed to die that way. I'm not even supposed to. You're not even supposed to take a chance on that. Because it was your child, if it was your father, it was your mother, somebody you love, you would have said, go to the doctor. We need to get that checked out. We need to look at that. We need to x-ray that. They didn't even x-ray.
Rap House TV.
And that's why I'm speaking out on this, because I'm scared for my life in that area. And who wouldn't be?
That's right.
Who wouldn't be?
Rap House TV.
Animals better than that.
That's right.
Just like a predator, though. They love it. They really love to like go to being the victim when it's all said and done. And all I could think is like, yeah, I have sympathy, empathy, you know, for humanity, all that good stuff. But it's all my mind keeps going to while listening to him cry about his treatment is how he was treating those men and women during those horrendous predatory acts. And were you feeling for any of them while you're having them eat your feces and all this other things? So it's kind of hard for me to tap in, is all I'm saying. But they said on Monday, June 19th, Rap House TV uploaded audio of R. Kelly, who's serving 30 years in prison in his hometown for being found guilty of trafficking. He's expressing health concerns, claiming that animals receive better treatment than he has been afforded, and he was in fear for losing his life due to the alleged negligence on behalf of the facility's medical staff. He alleged that they botched a procedure he was having the blood clots in his legs treated. He insisted that he doesn't deserve to be unalive by these means, and that somebody miscommunicated with somebody, took a guess, and what was really happening with his legs. He said, if I spent the rest of my life in prison, I want to pass away from natural causes, and I deserve that. I don't deserve to be unalive because somebody miscommunicated or somebody took a guess at what's going on with my leg. I'm not supposed to leave that way. You're not even supposed to take a chance on that, because if it was your child, if it was your father, or if it was your mother, somebody you loved, you would say, go to the doctor. We need to get that checked out. We need to look at that. We need to x-ray that. They didn't even x-ray me. And that's why I'm speaking out on this, because I'm scared for my life in that area. And who wouldn't be? He said they treat animals better than that. And they're saying that this isn't the first time that Kelly has voiced his issues from inside of the prison. It's really a jail. Or with medical staff. Back in March, his lawyer, Jennifer Bonjean, blasted Chicago's Correctional Center and their staff for being negligent and lacking care for Kelly and other inmates. His attorney called it unacceptable. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, I'm just sharing it. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. Y'all got something to say? I ain't got nothing to say. I've literally watched this man be a predator since I was 14 years old. Again, I was young and dumb, young and naive. I'll put it that way. So I didn't know it was wrong. But I literally saw it with my own eyes. Him pick up girls from my school. He wasn't picking me up, or any guys I knew of. I'll put it that way. That I knew of. But definitely the girls. So I don't know what to do with that. His actions were unacceptable too. Pedo. Yep, he's a pedo. Web prison is not supposed to be nice. Say sorry to those girls first. Yeah, because the truth is, I know he's still fighting for his life, so to speak, or freedom. What he got? Don't he still got like one more place? Or is it Atlanta? And are they still going for it? I haven't really followed. I have not followed that case closely at all. So I don't know for sure. I think Atlanta was next, but I know that there was conversation or speculation on whether or not they were going to proceed because he already had the 30. And New York, didn't he get some time there? I don't know, y'all. Y'all help me out in the chat. Let me know. Vel, you and the grown 8 teachers at Kenwood should stood by and watched him and saying nothing. I wasn't at Kenwood, Donna. Don't be pointing no fingers at me. I was a kid. I literally did not. I mean, let's keep it real. He wasn't the only grown man picking up girls. Well, and it would be his crew. It wouldn't just be him. It would be his crew. But he wasn't the only grown man picking up girls at my school. I'm gonna keep it real. And they thought it was cute. And I knew this one girl. I ain't gonna say her name. I'm telling everybody this, but I ain't gonna say her name. One girl, she was dating this drug dealer who had bought a brand new Volvo. It was beautiful, white. She'd be driving us around and everything, and because we had an open campus where we can go out for lunch and stuff. That's all we cared. We was teenagers. We didn't know no better. And that guy was like 30-something years old. But I didn't go to Kenwood. So what I'm saying is that he wasn't just at Kenwood. I know that's the story y'all heard in some social media. Kenwood on the south side of Chicago. I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and he was at my school on the northwest side of Chicago. He was making his rounds. Yeah, I wasn't at Kenwood. I didn't know nothing about Kenwood until I was grown. I didn't go to the south. Well, I ain't gonna say it. I would go to the south side as a kid with my parents to go see family members, stuff like that. But I didn't start hanging out on the south side until I was grown in my 19 or 20. Yes, it ain't popped up on this side yet, but royalty me. Yeah, here it is now. Oh Lord, he was all over. Yes. Again, I know in the media it makes it sound like he was just at Kenwood. No. He was at the high schools and the malls and the McDonald's over there in Hyde Park. Yes, and everywhere else. Rock and Roll McDonald downtown. All of it. That's why it's hard for me to connect and feel sorry, because now his leg hurt. Be glad you still walk or cripple or hop or whatever you're doing. Because he had plenty of years to stop being a predator. And I understand, like I actually had started listening to an audiobook of his life. I forgot. I was listening to it on one of my trips and then totally forgot about it. I got to finish that book because I was going to come to y'all with his full story. Okay, so we are moving on to Tamika Scott of Escape and the Tyler Perry Chitlin Circuit plays. She's been on other stuff too, though. Hasn't she been on some of these shows? Did I spell her name right? I don't know. That's spell her name? I don't know. Anyway, do y'all know who this is? Y'all know who this is. So yesterday, Tamika Scott of Escape took to her Instagram begging for help with her public identity that has been co-opted. And she, for those of you who aren't as familiar, 83% of you seem to know who she is. That's good. We know that she had a reality show, a couple months ago with her sister. Well, it was with her old group Escape and the singing group SWV, Sisters with Voices. And through that, we saw the drama unfold on the show that just spilled over into the internet. And there was accusations of her sister, Latasha, here in the all black thingamajigger. I don't know fashion like that. I know I'm gay, but I ain't that kind of gay. Is it the jumpsuit? Is that a jumpsuit, y'all? Do jumpsuit have to have legs to it? Y'all let me know. But anyway, in the black thingamajigger, that's her sister. And she was accusing her sister of stealing royalties. She supposedly had receipts. She went to her YouTube channel. They were going back and forth. They supposedly were supposed to do a gospel album together. And she said to her sister, Latasha, basically pushed her out of the deal. She ended up doing a solo that came out. And from what I'm hearing, it flopped completely. I don't know if the churches are accepting her or not, though. I don't know what's happening, on that side. But at least in the public eye, that album did very poorly. Not because of her, because of her, yes. But not because she can't sing and she's not talented. That's not the issue. It was all this drama, her nastiness. Okay, y'all saying it looks like a rumper versus a jumpsuit. That's what I think it's called, a rumper. Donna Hammond, yes. I think it's called a rumper. Thank y'all. And then their mom, was taking sides and choosing Latasha's side. That was a whole thing, calling Tasha a liar. Tamika, rather, calling Tamika a liar. And then there was Latasha's husband, Rocky, who was threatening to release a whoopee tape. I'm like, how do I say that word? A whoopee tape of Tamika with some guy back in the day. She had did a whoopee tape, and for some reason, okay, fine, she kept the tape or whatever, but she gave it to her sister to put in her safe. That part still is baffling to me. I would never ever give my siblings I would never give nobody a tape of myself in those acts, especially a relative. I just can't see a friend or relative or anything. I just can't see it. Gave it to her. Now the husband was trying to blackmail her with it. So all of that was happening on social media and some other stuff. So then, and it had quieted down for the most part. Besides, we know the sisters, as of last I heard about a month ago, they still weren't talking. They still weren't communicating. Latasha claimed that she wanted to make up with her sister, but from what I was hearing, there were no moves made for real in real life. Further, it was just kind of like she was putting on a show to say, I'm doing gospel music. It's all about healing. I want my sister back. All that. It was off the show. So anyway, fast forward to yesterday, I think this was. Tamika put on her Instagram, she says, "Help, I will pay good money. I've been dealing with this for over a year now, and no one has been able to help me out. If you are familiar with cable TV, network branding, please DM me. I need my picture to be put back. I work too hard for them to be replaced." And so what she's referring to is this little video I'm going to show y'all. I need to probably remove some stuff before it tell me I ain't got no more space. Hold on. Okay. Share this little clip with y'all. When the computer want to act right. Taking so long. Where you at? Oh Lord, did I not pull this clip in? Give me a sec. I might do it. I'm gonna do a screen share if I have to. I hate doing screen shares with stuff like this because you never know what's gonna happen. Hold on. Let me try to do a screen share. And hopefully it's still there. I told y'all I'm only one man. I'm pulling all this stuff and I caught myself doing a check to make sure I had every clip, but I may have forgotten. Here it is. Okay, now I can screen share. Give me a second. Let me pause that. Let me do this and then do that. Oh, okay. Sharing the screen. Window only. That's the window. Okay, here we go. Let me remove that. And then we're gonna clip on this.
It pisses me off because I work so hard, and it's not about recognition. It's about giving my credit. All right. Listen, I don't know who's out there who can help me. I mean, management don't know what's going on. The TV people don't know what's going on. No one can help me. All of my pictures have been replaced with my sister's pictures. And no one knows how to put my pictures back. Everything that I've done is being replaced. I have new stuff that I'm doing. And my name is there, but my sister's face is there. It's so annoying. If anybody know how to change this, I will pay you. So if you are in this field and knows how to do this and put my picture, which was replaced, it used to be my picture, but it got replaced, please DM me. I'm serious because I need my picture there. Like, Tamika Scott, and it's my sister's picture, and it's been replaced on everything that I've done. Please, somebody help me. If you can help me, I promise you I will pay you. DM me, the real Tamika Scott. Here's something else. The Queens of R&B. Let me go down to the name. Who's this? Latasha's. She got her picture, and now her picture is up for my picture. It's a lot of work I've done, y'all, and this is so aggravating. Here's something else. Escape, still kicking it. And everyone's picture's there. And yeah, if you're smarter than the person who changed it, please make yourself known. This right here it pisses me off because I work so hard, and it's not about recognition.
Okay, so the poll question was, do you think someone who's siding with her sister Latasha did this on purpose? 64% of you say yes. 39 was just now 61% of you say yes, and 39% of you say no. I don't know if it's someone who's literally like a part of the inner circle, or if it's a fan who is tech savvy enough to make this happen or work in the industry or something. I'm not sure, but I think somebody did that on purpose. That part I feel was on purpose. And thank you, Reality Show Binger. It was right. I feel like based on all of the drama that was going on prior to this, and who knows, it could still be going on behind the scenes. It just might not be playing out in public. And the fact that he was threatening to put out a whoopee tape. I saw somebody laughing at that. A whoopee tape on her. And also he was talking about Todd and Candy and all these supposed like blackmail things that he had. I could definitely see him being petty enough to make this happen. And with him being a manager working in the industry as long as he did, I think he worked with R. Kelly too, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all know in the chat, but I think he did work with R. Kelly. But I could see it. I could. And I did. I thought the same thing too, that it was a good possibility that it was him. But I don't know. I just looked and the picture is fine. I'm not sure what that's about. Like it could be, I got so much in my head and I'm talking about so much stuff. I don't remember what picture we're talking about. Is it true that her sister and Rocky are getting divorced? That I don't know. Now I've been seeing it like as headlines places. I haven't clicked on any of it to read it, to figure it out. Honestly, I just haven't been interested enough to look into it. But I have definitely been hearing that a lot. Yep, you're right. He's from Chicago, apparently. Okay. I feel like I heard that somewhere. I don't feel like I'm making it up. I feel like I heard that somewhere, or him say it somewhere. How does that even happen? Yeah. And she's saying like it's impossible for her to find the right people to get it pulled down. She's talked to networks and everything else. And that's very odd too. That is so unfortunate. It is. It's unfortunate, and it seems very petty too. Latasha and Tamika can sing though. Yes, they definitely can. They definitely have talent for sure. It's just a shame that reality show went the way that it did when it really could have done a lot of great things for both SWV and Escape. You know, it is what it is. The husband is a crook. That's what they're saying out there, and them streets are saying that. And I will say that as much as I'm not a huge supporter, but Tasha K did secretly record him when all this stuff was going down, and he had a woman come out and say she was his mistress and all these other things. And Tasha K was recording him, and you could just hear his shiesty, you know, snake oil salesman, narcissistic speak. And I was like, okay, yeah, this dude is not. And you could see it on the show too. You could see how he controlled Latasha to a degree as well. That, yeah, he sounded like a crook. Yep, I looked her up too, and her picture is back up. So you're saying Tamika's picture, correct picture, is now up for her IMDb's or various TV shows and stuff, or her projects? Is that what I'm understanding here? I wouldn't be surprised, because she put it out as a call to action or cry for help on social media, and people on social media, I mean, the world is on social media, so I'm sure somebody was able to help her very quickly. If that was something that could be fixed quickly, I'm sure it was resolved very quickly. But that's good news if that's the case. It's very good to hear. Okay, so moving on. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So we're saying, yes, her picture has been replaced. I mean, her correct picture has been posted. That's good. That's good to hear. Like that worked out for her as quickly as it did. Sometimes you just got to go to social media for help. That's all. Social media ain't all bad. It ain't all bad. Okay, it's time for me to wrap these stories up. I'm like, what was I doing? Y'all see my head like a dog head? Like, what? I'm like, I literally had a moment, brain freezer, like, what am I here for? Why are we here? Okay, on to our next story. This is our last story that I got a little clip of a play that we out of here. That was pretty good. I told y'all about 2.5 hours. We're gonna wrap it up a bit. Oh, I didn't pull in. Okay, so on to our next story. So we have an update on John Amos, and we know about his daughter doing the GoFundMe. We know all the drama. We talked about that before. If you don't know, you're not up to speed on it. Definitely watch my other videos on it. We got quite a couple of them on it now. And so the latest update, and I thank you to our People community, text community member who texted me and asked me if I knew about it. I'm probably gonna find it real quick. Yeah, I got a lot of messages now. I thought it was gonna be close on top. But anyway, thank you for asking about this. That I know that the GoFundMe that we talked about that his daughter Shannon put up has now been taken down. So when you go to GoFundMe, it used to be this one, and at that point, I think last we had looked, it was like $13,000 something. And now when you go search it, went to the same place I went to grab this, it is no longer there. It says campaign not found. So it has been taken down. The question is, why was it taken down? Like, what does that mean? Does that mean the daughter was the scammer that some people think she is? Does it mean that they just handling stuff behind the scenes? Maybe it's now legal. Who knows? Maybe her father was like, leave it alone. I'm okay with whatever is being done to me. Don't know. We don't have any word on that. However, what I did for y'all, once I saw the story, because I know what we need to do, I went to see what they were saying. I went to the daughter's social media, and I went to the son's social media, KC. And KC, when you go to his post, hold on, bringing it up. Anytime today, computer, anytime today. This it. When you go to his most recent post, oh my God, gotta mute it. This is what he's posted. Him at the gym, working out. This is what's going on in his world. There's no mention of his dad, or no mention of this situation. Besides his post was, the last post was him on the phone with the attorney and his dad, but that's it. So I don't know, did that scare the daughter? Did she get a cease and desist order? We do not know. But I did go to her page, because again, that's his son. That's all he doing. He's showing that he working out, working on his fitness. And then I went to her Instagram, is where she does a lot. I didn't check her Facebook though, but she usually posts the same thing each place. This is all she has up there, and it was today. This was today, and when I checked it, had only been posted 41 minutes before I checked, so it was very timely. And it just says unconditional love, and you see the back of her and her father, John Amos, walking away. So is that symbolic of I'm walking away from the situation? Is that we turning our back on, it's just me and my dad, and we turning our back on you? I'm about to come for you legally. Don't know. It leaves a lot up to the imagination. I'm sure that this probably still ain't over though. But that's that. I'm gonna show y'all one more clip related to this. Let's see. Do you believe that John Amos' daughter, her version of the story? 58% of you still believe, 42% say no. I actually still believe, I believe there's probably more to the story, but I'm leaning more towards still leaning more on her side. And just because she's taking it down and she's doing these subliminal posts and all of that doesn't mean that she's guilty or that she's even given up. There's, a certain way you have to approach things. I know some of us like to take it to the streets, but that's not always the most appropriate way to handle business. And so I think time will tell. This was another post, and I didn't pay attention to when he posted this, but this was another post from that the son posted on his page with his father. And I just thought it was funny. That's why. And I didn't notice it.
I put my outfit on. You're going to try to get me pregnant. Watch this.
Oh, my God. Oh, my Jesus. That was too much.
Wait till I put my outfit on. You're going to try to get me pregnant. Watch this.
Oh, my God.
I just thought I chuckled when I saw that. Like I said, I didn't pay attention to when it was posted, but that's what's on the son's page. It's just more of the same, business as usual. So I don't know. Let's see what y'all got to say about this last one, and then show y'all this last little thing I pulled. And then we're going to head on out of here. Right on time, 2 hours and 30 minutes. We'll be out of here. Do you think this story is now going away since the GoFundMe is removed? 33% of you say yes. 62% is dropping. But 38% of you say yes, you think the story is going away now. And 62% of you say no, you don't. It keeps jumping. Y'all keep changing y'all. No, more people probably voting. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over. It might be a while, but I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over at all. Okay, and so last thing I got for y'all, this is just a random little, I find a lot of stuff, these quick little viral videos on social media. I just don't have, usually we have so many stories, I can't fit them in, so I try to fit them in when I can. Sometimes I'll post them on our social media. Also, don't forget, did I pin it? Yeah. Don't forget you can follow me on various social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our Patreon, of course. And Patreon is offering some new features now that's going to treat it more like social media, where you can see more, and then there'll be still the exclusive stuff and other paywall features, but it'll be more things for you to see general. So as that happens, I'll start sharing that more. So Patreon's trying to step it up, and I appreciate it. I'm like, what was I about to do? So here's a quick little video of these guys talking about the Black church, and I just wanted to get y'all opinion on this conversation.
You ever been to a black church?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put the poll in at the same time because I got two of them. Bear with me. Oh, I could play it first though. I can play it while I'm doing this. Here we go. Play.
All right, you ever been to a black church?
Oh yeah,
dude, those get you fired up. They're so much better than regular church. They got a drum set.
Yeah. Oh, dude, black church is definitely, you like
feel the Lord.
Oh, you feel the Lord, and somebody will splash fucking hot grease on your back during the middle of it. Like, you don't even know what's going on. Like, you don't know if somebody just, like, ripped open, like, a lunch plate real fast, or if some lady's, like, whipped her hair. Like, you'll see a black lady, she'll have a fucking plant. She'll be watering a plant in her hair during the fucking sermon, dude. People are dressed up.
Offering you a grape or something?
Oh, everybody smells good, dude. The Lord will pass through the room.
Dude, at one point, like, I wanted to give more. I already donated, but I was like, send that bitch back. I want to donate more.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 3 hours, and it had an arc. Start out slow. You feel the closing bit. Then it's the grand finale, and I just want to throw my wall in the damn air and be like, I'm converted, and then just throw it up there.
Oh, I'll throw my
bar mitzvah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll throw my fucking dick in the air and catch it in my mouth, dude. You know what I'm saying? If it calls for it.
But I'm like,
if God calls for it. If God calls for it.
So yeah, I saw that, and at first I was like lost, chuckle a little bit, and then it got very uncomfortable, and then it went way, way, way left. And I was like, I don't know if this is oh Jesus, I hate when I click wrong buttons. Hold on, y'all. I was like, I don't know if this is just like completely racially insensitive. And Alice said it perfectly, because I think I even read some I forgot where I got it from now, because I've had it like a week or so. And I saw someone comment the same comment I just saw Alice put here. Black church is regular church, young sir. Right. It's like, it's better than regular church. What's regular? What? Like we're doing something different? Right, never ending. Bruh. So yeah, I was thrown. Looking at the poll, was this joke this was a typo, y'all. But anyway, y'all understood what I'm saying. Was this joke racially insensitive? 75% of you say yes, it was. 25% of you say no. I'm always interested in the outliers. I appreciate the majority, but I'm always interested in the opposite point of view to like just understand like how you're seeing it, your perspective, your reality on it. Okay, he went too far. It wasn't even funny. Yeah, that's kind of how, like towards the end, I was like this. Oh my God, what the F? Yes, that's exactly. I think dude in the yellow was on MTV show. He is such a damn AC. I don't know what that means. But yes, he was. It made me, because when I saw it, I was like, he looks familiar, and so I did try to figure out who he was, and he was on one of those MTV challenge shows. I forgot which one now, and I think it was Road Rules, because I used to watch it back then, and he was on there. Child, the the eggplant went left. Yes, absolutely. This is sick. Yeah. Just sheer ignorance. I'm indifferent to their shenanigans. What do you mean by their? Them people? That's Theo from Rogue. Yes. Never in. Correct, Theo. Nah, I didn't think it was. Okay. There was one black friend needs to talk to them ASAP. Yeah. He can't do that everywhere. He was able to get and that was he was able to get away with it on that particular podcast because the fact there was somebody who looked like him. But what I also noticed as I realized who he was and looked him up, when I started, he had other interviews like on YouTube. He's a comedian now, and he travels the country, comedy shows and all that. I think they even said he had a HBO special or Netflix, one of them. I think it was HBO special. So he had a special. But when I was watching clips of him on other shows, his humor is like that. And so he talks about everybody, but it's like I don't know, it's like he has no filter. It's politically incorrect humor is kind of his angle. It's like he's very comfortable, in my opinion, too comfortable, but it's interesting. It's an interesting approach. It wouldn't carry well in most places, I don't think. I chuckled at first, but it did go left real quick. Yes. I think dude in the yellow. Yeah. I read that one. Oh, I thought I was reading star comments. I just realized I'm in the live chat doing these. Oh, that's what that means. Hayseed is country. Okay, I never heard that. Is hot grease our anointing oil? Right. Maybe that's what he meant. Maybe that's exactly what he meant. I was lost with that too. He's sick. It means he's sick too. Okay. I mean, there's a huge difference between Black Baptist and white church. I mean, I could see the way praise and worship goes, those sort of things. One is common. I don't know. I get it, but it was extra. It was too much. Did I do here's the other poll. Oh yeah, because the way these polls are, I can only ask the questions a certain way to get the yes or no answer. So I did it 2 different ways to try to get a feel. Is this just a joke in poor taste? Are they just too comfortable? 78% of you say yes. 21% of you say no. So I was leaning towards that too. Like as I watched all his other footage, I was like, maybe he's just too comfortable. Because again, he's talking about everybody. Even his own, even country folk. He talked because I think he's from New Orleans, like, out in the country, the boonies. And he grew up like trailer park kind of grew up. And so he talks about that too and rips those people apart. Everyone wants to be a comedian nowadays. Keep those tasteless jokes off camera. Yeah. Dark humor. That's all. Okay. He's gonna come across the wrong person one day. Yeah. Probably already has in a comedy club, I'm sure. He was way too extra with the jokes. I felt like it just was so extra that it became unfunny. Like he just threw out words to, like aggressive words to, try to make it funny. Black jokes are told are usually taken way too far with racial undertones. Oh, Hasty Plowboy, courtesy of Trish. Okay. She's in love with the boy. Oh, interesting. Gave me a little history lesson there. I appreciate that. Or a little pop culture lesson. But listen, the lesson here is that we did make it. As we said in the beginning, we made it. I appreciate all of you for joining this evening. And you all take care. Thank you to my moderators on the front end, the back ends. Really appreciate you. As Alice Blessed Child of God was on the back end. I really appreciate you for that. And with that, until next time, I'll be back. Not sure if I'll be back before the weekend, but not sure, but I'll be back. Y'all know how we do. But I saw, forgetting who it was now, but I saw, it was Renee S. was saying that she doesn't get the Patreon notifications. Patreon notifications only come to your email. I don't like that feature, but it only comes to your email. So I'm not sure if you are aware of that or if you're saying you don't even get them in your email. I would say if you don't, double check your spam folder. And if you don't see them there, then double check that the email address you signed up with or have on Patreon is the correct one, et cetera, et cetera. But your notifications only come to you through email when I post on Patreon. And that's unfortunate. But for everyone else, if you want notifications about when I'm posting videos on YouTube or other special announcements, join our VIP text community. The link to all of that is pinned in the chat comment. That link that you see there takes you to everything that you can reach me on. So with that, everyone have a good night. Again, thank you for spending this evening with me and all of the fun and shenanigans. Y'all take care, be blessed, and I will see y'all later.